Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inkwell Academy. My name is Sophia Wardell, and today we have a very special guest, Regency and chicklit romance author, Alissa Baxter. Alissa is the author of the many Regency romance novels, including Lord Fenmore's Wager, the Linfield Ladies series, and the Grantham Girls. Hey, Alissa, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Sophia. Lovely to be here.
Lovely to have you here. And today I want to discuss writing Regency and chicklit romance with you. So, would you please tell us what exactly is Regency romance?
Regency romance are historical novels set in the early 19th century between 1811 and 1820. It's a very short period in English history, but a very, very popular period as well.
How did living on a country estate in England shape the world building in Lord Fenmore's Wager and your other Regency novels?
Living on a country estate in England, it was very eye-opening, actually, because if you're used to suburban living, you're not aware of the size of these estates and the size of the country houses and just the beautiful grounds. And I think I just got a sense of the scale of the actual estates that these lords and ladies were living on. And yeah, so it gave a real sense of reality to the story.
And in the Linfield Ladies series, you feature women with trend-setting roles. What challenges and rewards have you encountered while balancing historical accuracy while still portraying progressive female characters?
But it was a very challenging and rewarding experience. But I found it actually not very difficult because I found real life women who were making big strides in their own individual fields in so many different, especially STEM fields. So lady chemists, lady astronomers, lady biologists, women who work in gardens, horticulturists. I just started researching the women who were actually working in those fields at the time, and also the feelings they had about how they were restricted by their being women. And so I actually realized I just wanted to give them a voice, because I would read their accounts of what they were experiencing and their own words about how they couldn't really, they weren't really taken seriously because of the women, and how often the men took credit for their discoveries. And it was actually so interesting. And then I was like, wow, this is actually real. It's not as if it's just made up. I'm actually writing about real life women because I have special role models that I actually was researching.
Wow, that's so interesting. And with the Grantham Girls series under Dragon Blade, how did you approach developing romance arcs that satisfy modern readers while still staying true to the Regency era's unique social nuances?
That's a very good question, especially because writing romance arcs that are relevant to modern day women, it can be a tricky balance. And that's why I was so interested in marrying the traditional type of Regency romance with these women who were trailblazing women at the time. So it kind of satisfies the modern reader because they can identify with the lady geologist, for instance, but they can also feel lost in a more historical era because it's different enough to hold their interest, but also familiar enough to make them identify with the main character.
Right, that's a great point where there's nothing new under the sun, but just because of the time period, the dress, the manners, everything, it's so fascinating. Now, having experience in both Regency and the chick lit genre, do you find that certain writing techniques or character dynamics from chick lit influence your approach to historical romance?
Well, I love humor, and that comes across in both genres. So I think the fact that I kind of enjoy the more lighthearted kind of banter that comes across in romantic comedies, as well as in the kind of Regency romances that I like to write. But I have kind of left those chick lit novels behind at this point because I am enjoying going back into the historical eras. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's very interesting. To close, I want to just ask you, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give an author who is writing Regency, getting into it, or just, wants to become a better writer of Regency novels?
I think the best thing is to read and read and read in the genre, just to, you pick up so much through reading other people's books, and then to also just read real historical accounts of life at that time. So I always enjoy reading Jane Austen before I write a Regency novel, because I know that that is authentic and I can just lose myself in the world without worrying that, oh, is this historically accurate? So I prefer to read the real accounts that women wrote in the actual era in which I want to write. And that really does help a lot.
Well, Alissa, thank you so much. That was wonderful insight on writing Regency.
Thanks so much, Sophia.
Lastly, where can our listeners find you and connect with you?
Well, I have a website where I put all my social media details. That's www.alissabaxter.com. But I'm mostly on Instagram, and I have a Facebook group called Alissa's Regency Companions. But yeah, I don't really spend a lot of time on other platforms.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you everyone for tuning into today's interview with Regency and chick lit romance author Alissa Baxter. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.